right, well, this is our first podcast. You can listen to the Breaking Balls podcast, which will be right next to our podcast here in response. This is the Republican response, as they say, to the president's address.
It's our rebuttal to.
It is our rebuttal. So what pisses you off about them?
I really don't
you
want to
threw your headsets down at the end of the show today.
Well, I was mad because the clip I had of the Springsteen song was only a minute long, and Jerry wanted me to play it as the end music, and I knew it was going to run out because, we never simply just end the show. We always go off on a couple more tangents.
Explain that to the listener. So how do you hear that they want sound? What happens?
Well, he said to me over the talkback, he pushes a little button next to his mic button, and he says, I want Royals. I want to end with Royals. Now, he wants to end with Springsteen's Royals, which is fine. He
didn't say Springsteen Royals.
He did it first, but then he said whichever one, because I could tell he was getting a little irritated by it. And I wanted to do the Springsteen one because I know that's what they really wanted, but we only had a minute of sound, so I wanted to wait as long as possible to actually play it.
But you do realize that had you started playing it, he would have relaxed, and then you could have just circled back to it.
I do realize that, but this actually happened where it did run out when I finally started playing it, and there was a little gap of sound, and it sounded like shit.
I know, but he would have been happy, and you could have just had the 2-second gap and then replayed it.
Which ended up happening.
Right. I always say, because you're a perfectionist now, after the incident with an F-bomb on the air, we are very, 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 very diligent about...
Yes, we are.
About what we play. And you are hyper diligent about what should or
Well,
should
let's
not.
put it this way. I don't want to get canned, so I want to make sure that nothing ever happens like that ever
again. But that affects, Jerry was pissed when that wasn't getting played.
Yes.
So if you just started playing it, he would have relaxed. And then if it ran out, you could play it again. And at the end of the show, you say, hey, had to play it. You asked for it. We only had a minute. I couldn't loop it in time, but I started playing it again.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I was hypersensitive, as you said, to the actual piece of audio. Because he did, to be fair, if you listen to the whole version of that song, the live Bruce version that everybody's just freaking excited about, he does swear in it, which, the actual song itself doesn't have a swear in it, so Bruce threw that in there.
No, I know. I listened to it. I cut it out.
So.
Anyway, so what stresses you most about this job?
Getting up in the morning and making sure we have all the sound when we get in. And we always need to find more sound during the show. It always happens that way. But, that's pretty much the...
Do you like your job?
I do enjoy it.
You get up in the morning happy to come to work.
Well, getting up is the shittiest part of the day.
Once you're in the car, are you happy to drive into work?
Yes. Typically, I am very happy to come into work.
Who is the toughest of the three hosts to deal with?
Well, I would say Kirk, but when Kirk really gets mad, he's tough to deal with. Other than that, I like them all individually. When they get together, it can be challenging at times when the three of them get together.
Well,
because you're hearing one thing from Kirk, or in some cases Kirk and Jerry.
Well, that's what I wanted to get to.
And then you're hearing one thing from Dino, and it's like it can be tough to take each direction they want to go in and actually find a single direction.
No, it's the same thing.
It's like Dino wanted to play the Percy Harvin, Rex Ryan sound today. Well, Jerry and Kirk want to get back into Brady, and that we often get caught up in that.
Yeah, no, I think that it's very similar too, because I think with their sound requests, and generally it's Dino versus John versus Jerry and Kirk.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
in terms of the
case.
direction of the show. And I feel like, especially with guests, unless it's a incredibly topical guest, unless it's a really big guest, Jerry and Kirk want no part of guests.
That's true. I mean, a lot of guests can be pretty. I mean, are we talking just guests in general?
No, I'm saying in terms of planning the show and what I get and the texts I get between 10 a.m. and 6 a.m.
Like, give me an example of a guest that, say, Dino wanted to book, but the other two wanted no part.
Greg Cosell from NFL Network, or Brian Hoyer. The quarterback of the Cleveland Browns.
He does have a connection to. He played for the Patriots.
Right. I do not have any idea why anybody on 128 today would want to listen to Brian Hoyer discuss the state of the Cleveland Browns. But those are the requests I get. I contact the Browns, and what we all would assume would happen, they say Brian does not do out-of-market interviews, and we move on. But those are the things And then separately, I get responses from Jerry and Kirk saying, no guests. So you have to balance it. It's you hear from one of the hosts, you hear from the others, and you have to put it all together. And you have to understand that you can't be rude to one and nice to the others. You have to be honest to a point. Mm-hmm. And then you put the best show you can on the radio, and I use my judgment to find the best guests and then find the best stories to do a show with. But I have never in my life seen three people more miserable every day than these three people. They are unhappy, they are grumpy, and they are well paid, which is a weird combination.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they wake up at 3 a.m. every day.
So do I!
And I do too, but we're not as...
I don't think I'm unhappy.
They've been doing it for much longer than we have.
I listened to their podcast today, and they said I had a tin ear. Well, then find a better fucking producer. I'm sure they're out there.
I'm not going to go as far as saying find another producer for myself. But I mean, yeah, there are frustrations. I see what you're saying, but it's the nature.
The show's doing pretty well.
It's the nature of the morning.
All I hear, I joined this show after working at the Sports Hub for 4 years. Everybody said I was a moron. Don't come here. What are you doing? Those guys are dinosaurs.
Yeah, I was warned that I would be made fun of pretty heavily.
And I get here. And, of course, Minahan was already here. Minahan did great. Minahan is the king.
Well, I mean, I can't argue with that. He is the king.
And he is as talented a radio personality as you will find. But the show's doing fucking well. We beat the Sports Hub in the summer. We beat them in the last weekly in the football season. Why are they so pissed off constantly? You tell me that. They are miserable human beings.
It's hard to say. I would say, well, it's like Tom Brady. He always has a chip on his shoulder. They always have a chip on their shoulder. That's why they're so good.
Does Tom Brady have a chip on his shoulder as offensive coordinator?
He was a 6th-round draft pick. Of course he has a chip on his shoulder.
Oh, you're calling the Dennis and Callahan 6th-round draft picks?
No, what I'm saying is they have the mentality that there's a chip on their shoulder.
All I'm saying is
people are against them, and you know what? That's a good thing. It makes them perform highly. Look at Kirk. The man lives on grudges, and it's great.
All I'm saying is I live in this industry. I talk to people outside of this market being like, wow, they must be great to you. You guys are doing well. Since you got there, things have turned around. Things are going well. And I say, no, I'm miserable. I don't sleep. These people are... I take a nap. I wake up to 5 texts from Dino. I go to bed. I get issues from the other guys. These guys are constantly on our ass, which is why they're great. But there's no happiness here. Do you think this is a happy morning show? You're happy in the morning. You think that the room is happy.
Oh, I didn't say the room was happy, but I mean, I have to choose my attitude. I have to be happy. If I walk in negative and I'm like, oh fuck this, it's not gonna work. It's just not gonna work because if I have a shitty attitude and they sense that, it's like blood in the water. They're gonna come after you, and that's what's gonna happen.
I'm not asking what's gonna happen. The point is
get on the mic.
The point is what is the morning attitude on this show?
It's a little negative. That's what it is. We're going after people. We're making fun of people. That's what they do. They're great critics. That's what makes them great.
The fact is that these guys, after today, go in the studio, in the same one we're sitting in right now, and say that we have a 10-year, we're shitty producers, and we don't know one flew over the cuckoo's nest.
Well, to be fair, if you listen to if they listen to their podcast, they do say we do a good job, we try.
Oh no, they gave us
credit.
No. They said they're nice enough guys.
We're underpaid. They said we're underpaid. They even said that.
I don't care about money. I'm fine. I'll be fine the rest of my life.
They admit it's a pressure situation for us. They're not the easiest people to work. They did say these things.
After what?
Well, after they ripped us.
Right. Thank you. What are you talking about? You're on their side on this?
A little bit. Not completely, but a little bit. I mean,
you threw your headset off your head.
That was an anger thing about the song, the particular sound clip. It's nothing.
How many times a week does that happen?
2 to 3 times a week.
2 to 3 times a week. You are so mad.
Sometimes I'm
throw
pissed
your
at you.
headset-
Sometimes I'm pissed at interns. Sometimes I'm pissed at freaking Zarbano.
I never have done that in my life. You do that 2 to 3 times a week.
Well, I got to let the frustration out somehow. If I bottle it up, I'm going to have a heart attack. I'm going to have one of those anyway eventually. So I might as well just let it out. The headphone spike is a staple. It's one way to just get it out.
Get what out?
The freaking anger.
What is the anger from?
Whatever the situation may be, whether it's a combination of frustration or just friggin' misery. Some days when shit's going wrong, that's what's going to happen. What? It's true.
It seems like you've gotten a lot out here.
Seems like you've gotten a lot out. You're really pissed about this tin ear thing.
I really hate the tin ear thing. That really fucking pissed me off. Tin ear my ass. I find the stories that these jackoffs read every day. Tin ear. We didn't even play the Skip Bayless thing until fucking 9:50. That was the lead of my show sheet. Skip Bayless should have been discussed more often. Do you agree?
Yeah, probably we should have gotten
What
to it
does
earlier.
yeah probably mean?
We should have
Yes
gotten
or
to
no?
it. Yes, we should have gotten to it earlier.
It should have been in the open.
Well,
You agree with that? I told you that at 5:20.
Pistorius, Belichick,
Belichick
talking about-
sucks.
He's talking about Peyton. It was kind of funny.
Eh.
All right.
We would have gotten to it earlier if we had had it in the open.
Fair enough. That's true. It wasn't the best quality. It was taped off at TV.
No, it sucked. The audio
So-
was not good. You're right.
So with music under, it doesn't sound as good.
Anyway. All right. Well, this is the first ever Sausage and Curtis,
The Slothcast.
the Slothcast. I like it. Anything else you'd like to add here?
I'd like to thank Tim Benz for bringing in donuts today. I had 2 of them. I had one during the show and then one after the show. They were really good.
Very.
Tim Benz, number 1 in my book.
And we'll talk to you soon.